Okay, thanks a lot. Will a rebranding be enough for the Republican Party to revive itself, or are there deeper problems?
He's 27. He's an Illinois congressman. He's Aaron Schock. He's the youngest GOP member in Congress and considered a rising star in the party, and speaks for the next generation of what he hopes would be Republicans. Congressman, what does the younger generation want to hear from Republicans, and what aren't they doing?
Well, Brian, I think the younger generation want to hear what every American wants to hear, and that's a message that's relevant to them and affects their daily lives. And I can tell you from someone who was in college just a few short years ago that our message will resonate with young people if we just communicate how and we communicate what our party's principles are. People in college are competitive by nature. They're making sacrifices. They're taking out loans. They're working hard for a better way of life. They believe in the free market. They believe in equal opportunity, but not necessarily equal outcomes for everyone. And they certainly are not working this hard and taking on loans and pursuing a higher form of degree in education to have their wealth spread. So I think when the college youth of our country realize what the Democratic Party is going to do in the coming years in terms of income redistribution as opposed to income growth, which is what our party stands for, they'll come back to us in the coming years.
Congressman Schock, though, you have to admit, though, that the Democratic Party was brilliant in the way that they were able to recruit all of these college-age people to support Barack Obama. I mean, you almost didn't see, maybe it's just because we didn't hear, which is an interesting point as well from the mainstream media, that there were actually Republicans on campuses. But how do you attack that?
You're exactly right. There is no doubt that President Obama and his campaign did a much better job of communicating with young people. And I will be the first to say our party has a lot of work to do in terms of communicating our message to the youth of America. And we have to do it by using the new mediums and new forms of media. It's no surprise that college campuses don't have a huge subscription rate of their local newspapers. Young people today are going online for their information. They're using YouTube. They're using Twitter. They're using their Facebook networking pages. And so our party and our leaders and members of Congress have to use those forms to communicate our message.
What do you think about what Jeb Bush said, essentially, that Ronald Reagan was great, but we can't use Ronald Reagan to get a new generation of Americans?
Well, you know, again, great point. I'm the first Generation Y member of Congress, which means I was born after Ronald Reagan became president. Ronald Reagan is a great figure in our party. But, you know, for someone in their 20s and even in their 30s, he was not a relevant figure as we were growing up because he's in the history. And we have to be a party about the future. Our message has to be about the future and how our policies are best for the future of our country.
Real quickly, Congressman, what do you make of the fact that Rush Limbaugh has come out and said he's not in favor of this new organization to get the ball rolling for Republicans?
Well, you know, Rush is certainly entitled to his own opinion, but I think it's an excellent new opportunity for our party's leaders to go out and listen to the country, which is the first part of having an effective strategy to regain the majority, is to understand the needs of the American people, what issues are important to them, and their view of Washington before we go out and speak with one voice.
Congressman, your career's off to a great start. Keep it up. Nice talking to you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, 19 minutes after the hour. Straight ahead, watch this.
A movie stunt that goes desperately wrong. The guy filming this car chase in a new Nicolas Cage flick accidentally crashes his